If you haven't heard of this, what he's talking, quantum is referring to like the smallest little particles that we can even study. Quantum physics stresses that the invisible energy realm, collectively referred to as the field, is the primary governing force of the material realm. That's Ernest Holmes. Yeah, the newer science of quantum mechanics reveals that the universe and all of its physical matter are actually made out of immaterial energy. Ernest Holmes. Atoms are not physical particles. What? They are made of energy vortices resembling nano-tornadoes. I love those images. It is more than interesting that the term field is defined as invisible moving forces that influence the physical realm. For the same definition is used to describe spirit. I'm going to read that again. Invisible moving forces that influence the physical realm. The same description to describe spirit. The new physics provides a modern version of ancient spirituality. In a universe made out of everything, made out of energy, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. In a universe made out of energy, everything is entangled. Everything is one. That's what was in Sherry's prayer and reading. Everything is one. Now, Ernest Holmes has said that for a long, long time, but science is now proving it. Woohoo! Yeah. So there's going to come a day really soon where you don't have to explain yourself so much, because other people in the world will start hearing about this, and the idea that, yes, we're bringing science and religion together will not be foreign to people. As a matter of fact, it's not foreign to very many people now, but you and I will have more of a platform to say, well, you know, Bruce Lipton said, and we'll have some actual proof to pull out of our pocket, because in Ernest Holmes' day, he didn't have the words, he didn't have the scientific breakthrough, but my goodness, this man knew his stuff. He knew his stuff. He just didn't have the language. And I relate with that, because there's times, have you had that feeling where you know something deep inside of you, but you can't put words on it? Yeah, it's like, so Ernest Holmes did his best to put words on it. You know, someone else that we use around here a whole lot, who didn't have the scientific language at all? Jesus. Jesus knew his stuff, and he was saying the same thing. He just didn't have what we have now, but he put his language on it in the Jewish culture the best way he could, but he was saying kind of the same stuff. So I'm really in awe of those people who they felt something, they knew something, and they did their best to give it to the world in their own way. And now people like Bruce Lipton come along and say, yeah, there we go. Okay, I want to say one other little thing. For those of you who are science geeks and really want to look this up, okay, if you're not, just close your ears for a minute. Go look up the Higgs boson, also known as the God particle theory. The Higgs boson. Higgs is the guy, the man, H-I-G-G-S. Boson, B-O-S-O-N. If you'd like to have your mind blown, it's a good one to study. If you don't bother. It's pretty fascinating stuff. But he's referring to this energy as little packages of information against a field of information. And he's calling this the God particle, and he's referring to this as being creative. His exact words, packages of energy of some kind of field. Mind blown. That's all I'm going to say. Look it up. Higgs boson. If you like that kind of stuff. We're going to leave it alone now, because some of you are like, Okay, so back to how Ernest Holmes and how this philosophy parallels. He said, quoting Jesus, "It is done unto you as you believe." Jesus said that in a lot of different ways in his teachings. By your faith it is done unto you. It's done unto you by your belief, by your faith. Ernest Holmes grabbed that piece from Jesus and said, let's make a whole big thing out of this. It is done unto you as you believe. And it's not just a nice saying. What we're finding is that it is literally so. Quantum physics says things out there, this particle matter that we see, as I already read, comes from an immaterial, invisible force. And the observer of anything is influencing it. The observer, that's you and me. Ernest Holmes taught, if you sit quietly and you pray with intention and you pray with belief, you are going to get that because it's going into a law, a spiritual law. The spiritual law, now we know, is the quantum field. So we are not victims, and we are not innocent bystanders, and we are not just, oh, look at that's happening. We are influencing it in our personal lives and in our collective life. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at our collective life, I see a lot of not so beautiful, not so wonderful, not so like, where'd the spirituality go? But for us to stand there and point the finger at those who are doing those not so wonderful things makes us part of the problem. So when we sit around griping and complaining about how bad those politicians are or how bad the economy is, our energy is influencing the cosmic soup and making it worse. So stop. If you have some anger or some righteousness about those politicians or that financial thing, then get involved in a positive way. Get involved with something that's going to make a difference, because you're complaining, you see what I'm saying? You're just putting it right in the cosmic soup. Instead, the world needs people like us to say, what am I putting into this cosmic soup? How am I using this quantum field all around me for good, for better, for love, for healing, for peace? How am I using it? We are that important, my friends. If you can imagine that purple wave, that's where I need the visual. And I imagine that as I move that wave, it's not only coming back to me because waves move that way, but it's moving out to other people. So as I'm loving me and as I'm knowing myself as a God person and as I'm doing my healing effort, as I'm putting that out, see, it's touching you. And as you do the same thing, touching you. Can you see the quantum soup? Can you see the purple wave? Can you see it? So imagine when you... That's not what we want to be doing. It's not what we want to be receiving either. So sometimes we have to put like a white light around us so we're not receiving it from other people. But like it or not, we're in the quantum soup together. Let us be the ones who put the best things we can into that quantum soup. So Ernest Holmes also said, while we're doing this, we need to be intentional. We need to be clear about what we want to create in our lives, and we need to be very intentional about it. Don't complain. Be good in the world. Be intentional, be clear. Believe in the possibility, he says, all through the Science of Mind textbook. Believe in the possibility. Believe that as you're praying, you are receiving your good. Hey, that came from Jesus. Ernest Holmes took a whole lot. These things are all coming together in a scientific understanding that we influence this quantum field. We can no longer say, I didn't have anything to do with that, because we do. So be intentional, be very clear. We have the power within us to have wonderful lives and to influence others for good. Every single one of you has the power. No more playing the victim and no more playing small. We all have the power to have that best life that we say we want. And every time we hear ourselves say, oh but, oh but, oh but, rather than beating ourselves up because we said, oh, but what about that? We went to a negative, just realign again. Realign again. This is what I know is true. And I know that I'm using this quantum field every time I think, and so I'm going to think my highest and best thoughts. Ernest Holmes also set out a philosophy that says this is usable by anybody. Anybody can use it. It doesn't matter your status in life, your education, your gender, or any of those things that we label. It doesn't matter. It's usable by everybody and it's provable by everybody. But there's only one person who can prove it to you, and you know who that is. It's yourself. You're the only one. So start today, if you haven't already, to try it out. Start today. Okay, the easiest thing that we used to be taught is start manifesting parking places. Right? You'll move past that really quick.